What's going on, No Horsing family? As always, this is the No Horsing Around podcast. I am one of two dudes talking Colts. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. Colts beat Jaguars 23-17. So this is your not so instant reactions. Us over at No Horsing, we really love to get the instant reactions out. Zach's dealing with some family sicknesses. I was dealing with just not being able to get it out to you guys, but we want to still get the not so instant reaction. So still my gut feeling, and then just a little bit of stats sprinkled in there for you guys, all that great stuff. As always, we ask you guys to please like, share, subscribe, comment. As my boy Zach always says, get a healthy convo going in the chat, in the comments. Let us know what you think. I'm going to give out game balls again. Let me know what you think. Give me your instant reactions, all that great stuff. We love hearing from you guys, and we always try to respond. So let's jump back in. Colts get a very much needed win, 23-17 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. It was one of the uglier games that you can see. Colts got up big to start with. They get out to a healthy lead, and then they just kind of hang on. I think the most interesting thing was they showed a stat that it was like punt, 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 field goal, punt, punt. I mean, it was just insane to see it, to be able to just like they didn't do anything. As hot as they looked to start the game, they were that much not at a certain point. And I'm just trying to find it because I believe it was Zach Kiefer that had it out there, that it was just like, it was just insane. There it is. Basically, the Colts got up 17-0. And then with about 10 minutes left, the 7 possessions the Colts had were punt, 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 field goal, punt, punt, punt. I mean, they did nothing after they got the 17-0 lead. I mean, and it shows by, I mean, check it out at the bottom by the stats. Excuse me. Carson, 22 of 34, 180 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, and a couple of really weird left-handed throws for some reason. He did a good job controlling the line during the game and checking in and out of plays and going to the run. It's just a weird game. Someone else had the stat out there against the Jaguars. I think we're 6-6 in the last 12 games. They just play us tough. So it's like, you just don't know. Sometimes certain teams just play you tough. But Carson kind of had this weird game where it was just like he never really felt in rhythm. Taylor had a great game, 21 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 100 and I think 601, somewhere around there, to start in the second quarter. I mean, he had like 97 yards, I think, in the first quarter, something ridiculous. So he played fantastic as well. And they continue to ride him. They continue to ride that hot hand. But it's still, and then, I throw it in there. Michael Pittman Jr., 5 receptions, 71 yards. T.Y. was working his way back. I think he had 1 for like 10, somewhere around there. Just not a lot coming his way. Michael Pittman definitely seems to be the go-to person that Carson likes to head to. And then let's flip this over for you guys. I don't have these scrolling on the bottom. They're just coming off the top of my head. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was 16 of 35 for 162 yards. He got sacked 3 times. I mean, he didn't play great. Robinson, 12 rushes, 57 yards. Agnew, 3 rushes, 79 yards. Both of them had a pair of touchdowns. I mean, there was a couple of big runs. There was a couple of big plays. But, like, as far as, like, the way the defense played until the end, the defense got stops when they needed to get stops against them. The defense 100% was able to stand up and bend but don't break at times. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, it was just their third down efficiency. The Colts were 4 for 15 and the Jaguars for 5 for 15. I mean, it was basically a dead even game. 62 plays ran to 62 plays ran. I mean, it was just insane. The difference, too, is that the Colts were 1 of 4 in the red zone. They came away with field goals sometimes. It didn't work. I mean, it was a weird game, too. I mean, you're talking giving up 179 rushing yards to the Jaguars. It's just odd, But, I mean, it felt like a weird game. It really did. And then to be honest with you guys, it felt like a game that the Colts normally lose at this point. Uh, that they lost earlier in the season, the Ravens game, the Rams game, the Titans game, one where it's just like they're holding on and they jump out and then they give it away, and they didn't. Someone got in my mentions on Twitter and made a comment, and I saw a comment about the same thing, like, "Hey, it was a horrible game. That's not how you play. You can't play that way and expect to play in the playoffs." And the person said, "Well, this is what you do to make the playoffs. Good teams sometimes just have to like survive and beat the teams. It's like in March Madness, the number one overall seed or whoever's favored to win. There's always that one game that's super close. That you're like, I can't believe that game was close, and they kind of just have to survive it. And that's what they needed. They needed to get this win and survive because we all know the stretch that's coming up. You got the Bills; they're coming up next week. I mean, and you're gonna have to you're gonna have to get a win. And I mean, it's just a deadly stretch, and you had to start it off with getting the win this time. You had to get the win against the Jaguars. You had to go 5-5, especially considering. I mean, we all hate to admit this, but the Titans probably look like the best team in the AFC. They just keep freaking winning. I mean, we know that the stretch of the next 4 games, including the Jags, you had the Jags, the Bills, the Bucks, and then you had the Texans. So you have to win. You have to split those at least to see if you're going to be able to make the playoffs. So it was a win that you had to have. You had to be able to walk out of this. And good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to call it, a win is a win, and you're 5-5 now. So for the first time since opening day, we do not have more losses than wins. So it was ugly. It's nothing to clap about. It's nothing to high five about. It's not like, oh, that's Carson. I mean, I did a video last week, comeback player of the week, comeback player of the year, had Carson in there. Zach has done one before where it was like, is he an MVP on this team? Is he a top 10 quarterback? I mean, sometimes you just have a bad game. And like I said, you just have to survive and advance. You know what I mean? So let's give out some game balls, you guys. We've beat the horse. It wasn't a pretty game, but we beat the horse, but we won the game. Let's give out a couple of game balls. I got 3 or 4. Jonathan Taylor gets one. He had a great game. Like I said, 21 carries, 116 yards. No one's stopping him. Craziest stat to me is that I believe it was Zach Kiefer put out. He is now tied for the NFL league leader in rushing with Derrick Henry, who's not played in 2 weeks. It's just insane to me. It's insane to think that. So he's about to break 1,000 yards. He's the best back in the NFL right now. I've put a video out. You want to debate me about it? That's fine. The other ones I'm going to put out, I mean, I normally love putting Carson on this. I can't do that. I've put Frank Wright on the game ball before. I can't do that. Zaire Franklin coming up with a massive pump block that got returned for a touchdown. Game changer, game winner, really, when you look at the stats. So you can't help but not put him on there. And then I'm going to go with our first 2 picks, you guys. Our first 2 picks of the draft last year. Dayo Adengbo, Kwity Paye. Kwity gets his first official sack of the NFL. He's been right there the entire season. He's been right there, barking at the door, ready to get in, gets his first sack. Huge. And then let's go with Dayo. I mean, you have to give Dayo gives the forced fumble to clinch the game, to end the game, to call game. And he even said his explosiveness is not there yet. He is not 100% back. And he comes up with a massive, massive play to seal this game. I mean, forced fumble, done, game, go home. So, I mean, those are my game balls. I want to hear y'all's. I would love to hear who you guys have. Do you have someone that I don't? Do you agree with who I have? Do you disagree? Do you think that someone shouldn't be on there? I would love to hear from you guys. Okay. So, as always, you guys, we kind of try to round this out the same way. Please, as I always say, like, share, comment, get the healthy convo going, get all that kind of flowing. We'd love to hear from you guys. Last thing, you guys, I want to, we've tried to figure out when we were going to announce this, and I don't have all the details yet. But we have decided that we want to do something Christmas related, holiday season related, you guys. Me and Zach have been knocking around this for months. We've got some other people who we're going to bring in. We're going to tell you guys more about it in the next week. But we are looking for all of our viewers, all of our subscribers to donate. We'll have it all set up. We have a GoFundMe or somewhere around there, 99 cents. We're going to run it for 30 days leading up to the holidays, and we're going to give that away to a family in need for Christmas in Indianapolis, as well as one in my hometown in Nashville, Tennessee. So please, you guys, drop it in the comments if you have questions. Hit us up on Twitter if you got questions. We're going to give the details out, but we would love we really want to help some other people during this holiday season. So 99 cents is all we're asking from everybody. It's going to go directly to, like I said, a family in need for the holidays in Indianapolis, as well as one in Nashville, Tennessee. So with that being said, you guys, I got nothing else. It's a win. It's the not so instant reaction, like I said. But in the end, I love you. Zach loves you, even though he's not here. He knows he does, and he will say it all the time. We're out.